Y'all see it? What's going on? What's going on? It's another edition of the ATL 3 Style Podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Lee OG. And as y'all can see over there to my right or to your left, however you looking at the screen, man, I got my man Banks over here in the building tonight. What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on, Leo? How you feeling, brother?
Man, feeling all right, man. Feeling all right on this day, man. We're gonna crank some content out, man. Talk about a few things. As y'all can see, our brother Derek Cole's mission, man. Listen, we Derek Cole got a lot going on. He's a busy man. But Banks, we're gonna have to do a GoFundMe or something for his equipment, man. He was actually having some equipment difficulties this evening, man. So he gonna have to, you know what I'm saying, them big lights headphones he be using, man. He gonna have to get them back up. We're gonna have to upgrade them and do something. I don't know what
Listen, I can't speak on it too much because I go through it sometime myself. So I feel him. I know that situation. It's frustrating, when your equipment's failing on you, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta chalk it up, brother.
Yeah, man, it is what it is. But we're gonna get Derrico back in here, man. Definitely get him back in here, man. We know, this is summertime. He like to do a lot of traveling. Obviously, man, he gonna be moving and shaking. So, we'll get him when we can, man. So shout out to our boy Derrico, man. Before we get this thing started off, we're gonna give y'all a nice short sweep with the night, talk about a couple of things. But before we do, we always gotta give it up to some of the partners, man, that you know what I'm saying, we like to shout out on the show, man. So Banks, tell everybody about our boy, man.
All right, man. Check out my boy Phil here with Eastlands Woodworking Company here. You need anything woodworking done, for birthdays, for bar mitzvahs, for wedding anniversaries, for graduations that just passed. It is graduation season. Hit my boy up. He can hook you up. I can show you an example. This is a coaster that he did for me. It's personalized with my initial Banks as B for Banks, and then my favorite team. But he can do anything you want him to do. And like I say, hit my man up on that QR code and tell him we sent you.
Absolutely, man. Hit them up, man. And also definitely want to give a shout out to our boy over there, BEZ, man. Give a shout out to our boy Bachi over there with moisturizing and conditioning spray, man. We still rocking with it hard. We still rocking with it hard, man. It's still doing the wonders for my beard, man, for real. So hit them up, man. If y'all want to get some of their product, man, it's 470-222-9927. That's 470-222-9927. Make sure y'all hit my boy over there, man. If y'all want to check out some of the product, man, he got some other stuff coming your way here in just a moment. You can hit me up too if I got some product on me out here in these ATL streets, man. I'll definitely give you some and let you test it out, man. I'm getting kind of low, so I'm gonna have to hit him up, Banks, man. He be moving and shaking, man. So Bachi, if you listening, man, I need some product, brother. I need some
and
product, man.
and and hook your boy up here. I'm about to go ahead and dabble with some myself. I'm getting kind
He
of thick
trying,
over here
he,
with the
he trying to get a
yeah,
figure. He
brother.
trying to grow it on out. Look at him.
Yeah,
He
brother.
trying to grow it on out. He said, he gonna grow it on out, man. But they had a birthday, man, and say he gonna grow it on out, man. That's what's up, man. So listen, Banks, we'll do a fit check. No drink check, but we'll definitely do a fit check, man. And it's gonna segue. I'll let everybody know what I'm going. I got the Bravo stuff on. I'm representing A, man. Got my World Series. We a long way away from that World Series, if you can see it. But I'm still rocking it, man, because we still champs. You know what I'm saying? Anytime you a champ, folk will tell you all the time, man, you a champ. You can't take that away, man. So I'm gonna still rock the championship gear, man. Still rocking with my Atlanta Bravos, Braves, however you want to do it. Go Bravos. And Banks, look like you got on some real deal gear, man. You can segue that right on into what we talking about this evening. What's up? Let everybody know what you got on.
Well, I'm rocking with the team, playing out in College Park in Atlanta Dream. Got the hat and got the gear right here. This is Tahina Pow Pow. This is her jersey, and I wanted to represent. She played for the Atlanta Dream as a point guard for our upbeat and exciting WNBA basketball team here in the South. And I want to go ahead and talk about that, Leo. Been to the game I think a couple of days ago. It was at College Park Arena. We were playing the Dallas Wings, and I just say, you know what? Let me just see what they all about. Let me go try to, see what's good. I had a great time. Let me tell you, the atmosphere was alive and electric. You have a big following of WNBA. The fans were into it. the seat, it was not, if you've ever been inside College Park Arena, it's not a bad seat in that place at all. Like you could sit at the very top and still see everyone like they close up. So I had a blast, you know what I'm saying? This was a good treat for me. I haven't been to Atlanta Dream game since when Angel McCoughtry was here, and that was how long ago? That was a while ago, okay? So very, very, very enjoyable. I will return again. I want to see more. And I say that to say is when I decided to go check them out, this team decided that they want to play they want to hoop. They want to play some ball. They went and they won the game, by the way. They beat the Dallas Wings. With all the players that I'm trying to learn them all, but the ones that I know, off the rip, I do know the Brittany Grinders of the world. I know the Ryan Howards. I know the Tahina Pow Pow. I'm rocking her jersey. I know the Aisha Gray, but the Brianna Jones. But I had to know, like, to actually do some research on the bench, like the Nia Coffees of the world, the Shatori Walker Kimbrough. I had to basically Maya Caldwell. I had to basically be like, who are these? How these ladies? These are actually hooping the way they are. And I'm tell you what, Leo, you may not check them. Me dismiss it. You may not be a big WNBA follower. I challenge you.
What? How
Well,
you gonna tell me I
I'm
ain't a
just
big
saying.
WNBA follow? I'm not.
I'm just
We talk,
saying. Just
God,
check them
man.
out, brother.
You gonna
Check
check?
them
Listen,
out.
so I've been
Listen,
checking them out, man. Listen, I've been checking them out, man. 5-2 start, man. This is the best start they've had since 2016, right? Obviously, man. You just dropped some names, man. Alicia Gray. You talked about Ryan Howard. I mean, Alicia Gray. Career high. Like right now, 7 games in, she's scoring like 21 points. Like you said, Pow coming off the bench, doing well. You know what I'm saying? Playing at the point, man. Doing great things, man. Uh, but listen, so you talked a little bit just about like the atmosphere, man, over at College Park, because it's a very, very intimate setting over there. Was there a lot of fan interaction, like as far as like tell me about like the fan interaction, man? Did they really get the fans involved and get that thing rolling like a real NBA game? Because I mean, like I said, I watch them on
absolutely,
TV, it looked fun, man. You know what I'm saying? But
absolutely,
from a perspective of you being in the stands, like was it electric? Was the atmosphere
absolutely,
there?
absolutely.
You had
Listen,
your pom
by the
poms out.
way. Listen, if I had some, I would have been shaking them. This is Atlanta, by the way, okay? And of course, it was a lot of interaction with the fans. You couldn't be an Atlanta event without the swag surf. Yes, they swag surf at this venue as well. So we were swag surfing. They were passing out, the t-shirts and everything. But you're so close. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to throw it far. You know what I'm saying? They will throw it. They see you, then you'll get a t-shirt. Um, even after the game is over, what I'm saying, the players will, personally hand out, t-shirts or what have you, what I'm saying, just to say thank you for showing up. I think that's special. You have, young adults and young kids that's at the game that look up to these athletes, man, Leo, and that goes a long way. That
Yeah,
goes a very long way. So
absolutely.
yes, kudos to the league for allowing that fan interaction was A1.
Yeah,
A1.
now you got a new coach, man. Obviously, we talked about this in previous podcasts, man. I believe Carl Smishko, if I'm not mistaken, is the new head coach of the Atlanta Dream, and he brings a
Schmecko.
new Smithko. I'm sorry, I mess up names. That's what I do. So Carl Smithko, the new head coach of the Atlanta Dream. Uh, we always have a little skepticism when we bring in new coaches, right? I'm not familiar with the last regime and what was going on, but obviously there needed to be some fresh new blood there, Banks. And from what I understand and from what I've seen, I watched a couple of games, man. I watched them beat I believe it was Indiana not too long ago. Like I said, they're 5-2 here. It's a fresh approach, man, and they're very, very proficient right now offensively. Like I said, very early in the season, but they're scoring a lot of points, right?
Absolutely. Another thing about Schmecko's offense, aggressive style, they are very perimeter driven. I mean, what I mean by that is they go to the perimeter and they don't think about it. They see an open shot, they gonna take it, which means a lot of threes, a lot of long balls, and they hitting it. they hitting it, Leo. Like they shots are wet, man. I'm like, whoa, like what I'm saying, like it's impressive, and it's like they have an inside game as well, of course, of Brittany and Brianna, but it's like it's a different field, very aggressive attack. Ryan Howard is like she's going to the hole at 105 miles per hour. You know what I'm saying? Like she runs into a brick wall, but she gonna either draw that foul or she gonna get she gonna make that shot, that layup. Very impressively, the whole different style offense that you like. Why it kind of makes you realize that this can bring butts into the seats. Not like they needed help because it's crowded in that place, but this will bring more people, more eyes, and that's pretty much what this team needs right now.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Are they still is because I know there are some big marquee teams, and I know you just were talking about the Dallas Wings, and I believe they had the #1 draft pick overall, and all you can talk about that here in just a second. But I don't know if you for sure or not. I have to go back and do some research. There are still plans, right, for big marquee games. Of course, obviously, when Indiana comes here and a couple of other teams to play at State Farm, if I'm not mistaken, are they going to still do time over at State Farm with some of the bigger marquee teams come in?
Absolutely. I think they have another date with Indiana Fever at State Farm. I could be wrong. Um, I know we have a game in August that and I have my family that wants to go to see New York Liberty, the defending world champions. I don't know if that's going to be in State Farm or not. It will probably help if they did. You got a big following. You know what I'm saying? When you talk about marquee names, but I think the big popular team right now is New York Liberty. They're currently 7-0, just like Minnesota Lynx are 7-0. They're like the big honchos are on the playground. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's the big ticket right now. I mean, Indiana Fever, of course. We already know why that's so. But going down the line, yeah, I think we should have more at State Farm.
That's what's up, man. Like I said, definitely want to get out there to a game. Definitely want to check it out, man. I know you we're gonna have a positive experience, man, because we always rep ATL teams like we do, man. So you just giving me a little fuel to the fire, man, for me to get up off my butt and get down there to check out a couple of games right down the street over at College Park, man. So y'all heard it from my man Banks, man. Listen, y'all got to get over there and check the Dream out, man. Check them out, see what they're doing over there. Another thing too, I wanted to ask you, Banks. We talked about this a little bit off air. Not only did you say the Dream had a lot of following, but because of some of the marquee players now that a lot of people are getting to see just throughout the league, there was a big following from the opposing team, Dallas, as well, right? And their #1 draft pick.
Yes, yes, yes. Paige Beckers. If you're familiar with college basketball, Paige Beckers played for UConn. They won it all, last year, was past season. And you would think that someone, #1 pick, it's the #1 pick. You're going to be intrigued about seeing this, up close and personal. When we was at the game, you had a lot of Becker jerseys, a lot of Dallas jerseys, not necessarily meaning that they were Dallas fans, but they were there to see her, and it was very, very, very interesting to see, like, wow, you got these young ladies in the crowd that watch college basketball, and they gonna make sure they gonna see the #1 pick, Paige Beckers. They gonna see, whoever, whoever player, insert name here, what I'm saying, that was like you follow in college. They gonna make sure they go see them. That's I'm not gonna sit there and say I'm trying to watch my words here. It's not like, you have people that watch women's college basketball. Okay, that's
Yeah,
that's a that's a
absolutely.
that's a
Absolutely.
whole a group there as in itself, and
Absolutely.
it was very refreshing to see. Everyone was like WNBA is struggling, before Caitlin came in. I don't know how true that is, but at the same time, if it was true, it's not struggling anymore. Okay, let's keep that. Let's make that. Listen, this is a big movement. Okay, this
Hey
is
man, absolutely, absolutely. Nothing but positivity when Caitlin came into the league, right? To help grow the sport. I mean, it's like that with any sport, right? Even with the big three banks, when you get a new player, somebody that is very intriguing. I mean, you want to talk about the now they got the little Angel Reese at Caitlin rivalry that they had, I'm saying a couple of weeks ago, so now that brings some spice and it brings something fresh, to get some eyes on it, man. I think that's all the positive spin and to get people to watch the WNBA, man. Like you said, following the dream all the way back, like you said, Angel McCoughtry days, man. I mean, they've been here for a while. The WNBA has been around for a while, but now, like you said, with the movement of the youth, and now being able to see, your market team. Like I was able to watch the Indiana game the other day on Peachtree TV, man. That was a pretty cool game, and they're on TV. They got some prime time stuff because right now, you kind of have a lull in sports, right? You know what I'm saying? You got the NBA finals coming up, obviously, but football is over. You got the MLB. Really, you gotta be a hardcore MLB fan to watch that right now. Usually people don't really turn in until after the All-Star break. That's when the horses really start to run in the MLB. So you got a little opportunity here to put some games on Sunday afternoons, on Saturday evenings, to give people an opportunity to showcase and see some of the talent, you know what I'm saying, around the WNBA, man. So I like it. Look, Banks, I want to segue while we're talking about basketball because we're going to talk about a couple other things. Shout out Atlanta Dream once again, man. Like I said, your boy Leo G will try to get out there as well. We got to get all three of us out there maybe to a game when Derrico has some time to do so as well. But look, just around the horn in general, we'll talk a little basketball here. Got the NBA finals coming up. Wanted to get your take on the topic since we talk about a lot of different sports. And this is kind of related to Atlanta. Two things. First thing is OKC, Indiana Pacers in the finals. That starts on Thursday. Give me your take on this final. I mean, teams aside and the series, these are two small market teams, right? We always talk about this when it comes to sports. Like, who does everybody want to see? Where are the ratings going to be? You had a team in New York, obviously the biggest market in the country. The Knickerbockers, they couldn't get it done. The Pacers took them out. Great team, gritty team up there in Indiana. And then you got OKC, who's relatively, in my opinion, if you follow NBA, like a lot of people do, they may have not went under the radar, but because they're such a small market, I did not get a chance to see a lot of OKC basketball this year. But apparently they have been one of the best teams out there on the West Coast, and now they're going to meet Indiana in the finals. With that all being said, Banks, these two small market teams, where do you see the ratings going? I mean, I'm not just talking about for hardcore NBA fans. I'm talking about for like just nationwide viewership. Like, did this hurt the NBA by having these two small market teams that some hardcore fans might not know a lot about?
perhaps. I think that's a problem in NBA, in my opinion. You shouldn't have to watch a game or a championship because a big market team is in it. I don't think the other leagues go through that. I mean, you talk about the NFL, you talk about Major League Baseball. I think whoever's deserving to go to their championship respectfully, people are going to watch. Okay. We already know Super Bowl, whoever two teams make it, it's going to be all eyes on that. So we're not going to even touch that. We know NFL has never had a problem with that. NBA has this thing where, everyone wants to say, well, it's going to bring eyes, it's going to bring money, blah, 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 blah. The LAs, Chicago's, the New Yorks, the Dallases, that's what people want to see, the big market
The
teams,
Boston.
the Bostons, and it's like, then why do we play the game then? Why are we even playing if we only want to see the big market teams at the end of the day? The teams like your Portlands and your Sacramentos and your OKCs and your Indies, you know, if they have a good year, they deserve to go. I mean, if you don't want to watch because of the city they play in, that's foul. I mean, I don't believe in it. I don't believe in that. I think that Indiana, OKC deserve to be there, and I think they should get their flowers, and people need to check in. Tune in.
I mean, I agree.
What what's
Absolutely.
what's you know what would it do for you or the league for that matter if New York was there? I mean, okay, a big market team that's there that's got a big fan base. I mean, that has who cares? I mean, okay, those fan base gonna be there. They're not going anywhere. Okay, they didn't go to the NBA finals for a long time. Okay, they not going anywhere. So I that's why I have this hang up with the NBA. You know what I'm saying? With this market, the market show. You know what I'm saying? I look at it like whatever team is hot, give them their flowers. When Milwaukee won that championship that year, everyone was like, "Oh, it was Milwaukee." I'm like, "Who cares? They
It's like everybody's
won.
like, oh, it was Denver. You
They
know what I'm saying?
won. They
Even though
won it." I mean, that's what I'm
Denver has
saying.
one of
Like,
the best premier players in the league, right?
yeah,
With Jokic out there.
they won. They won fair and square. It's like you didn't want to watch because it wasn't. I mean,
The
come on,
Lakers and the
right?
Celtics,
It's they can't win it
that
every single
storylines.
year. Like at the same point
Uh,
of Boston win it every single year, the league will be watered down. It will be boring as hell. I don't want to sit there and watch the same three, four teams go every single year.
I think
That's
traditionally,
not. No.
I was just saying, I think that the younger generation are more apt to watching, a diverse group of teams, what I'm saying, compete and challenge. I think traditionally, some of the older generation are used to the storyline is so intriguing when you see a LA Boston finals, right? Because that has happened so many times and that rivalry, and it's just, so ingrained in a lot of, basketball heads, like, oh, it's the Boston LA rivalry. It's so much behind it, when you look at that. But I think these young generations, man, hey, you see the players, you know, they watch, they know everybody. Like I said, they get to watch all the markets, like we said. So I think they'll be apt to it, man. So I'm with you, kind of Banks, man. This whole storyline of we need big market teams or some type of storyline to have behind the finals. I think let's watch some good basketball, man, and see how this all turns out. It don't necessarily have to be, I'm saying, the Boston Lakers finals for it to be must see TV. So I think hopefully it'll do pretty good, man. I'm hoping to see. I'm a fired on up. I hadn't really fired up a lot of playoff games since, of course, our Hawks got put out. But obviously, I'll tune in for the finals and see how this all shakes out, man. I'm interested to see what Indiana and OKC does out there. Banks, listen, got a couple of more items to talk about here before we close this thing on out. Like I said, a little short, condensed version of the show tonight. We'll bring you back a full hour here coming up in the next couple of weeks here. Got a lot more to talk about, obviously, as the Braves heat up, getting closer to the All-Star break. Also, need to talk and have a breakdown of some of the other teams in the city and what's going on with them. And we're going to talk about some other fan bases here as well. But before we get up out of here, Banks, OTAs, hot topic here, obviously NFL all year round, right? OTAs. Everybody's here. Here the veteran OTAs are starting up, man. We getting closer and closer to camp. Banks, we almost shoot. We getting all close to like the 100-day mark, man. I know we got 100 days away or less to college football, so we're going to get closer and closer to the NFL mark. A couple of items to talk about before we close this thing out. First big ticket item, obviously, that we'll talk about is Kirk Cousins is a no-show. Obviously, we knew that was going to happen. He wasn't going to be in the building. I don't think it's really a topic of conversation. Kirk knows what he's going to do. The organization knows what they, what's going on with that situation. He'll be ready to go if he's wearing a hat in a clipboard week one here in Atlanta. I think there's no issue or no problem with that. The bigger story is Banks this running and getting a lot of traction with some cryptic press conferences with this Kyle Pitts thing. So we'll talk a little bit about that here while I got you, man. So it was noted that Kyle Pitts was kind of absent from the OTAs, and now they're saying that there's some type of undisclosed injury going on with Kyle Pitts. Now, we all know that this is a contract year for Kyle Pitts. We know that, hey, he got to try to get his money this year, or, we need to try to figure out if he's going to be a Falcon in the future to come. I just find this really, really strange going into OTAs that there's some type of undisclosed injury now. And Raheem was being very, very cryptic in the press conference, talking about how they want to treat this very, very carefully and cautiously with Kyle Pitts, man. Is there some smoke to this, Banks? What's going on with this whole Kyle Pitts situation and them talking about this undisclosed injury that he has and them being very, very cautious with him?
I have a theory. My thing is about this undisclosed injury. So convenient that they want to bring it out, so he won't be at OTAs. Is he really hurt? In my opinion, I don't know. I don't. I mean, if I had to put money on it, I would say no. I don't think he is hurt. I think it's an excuse to keep him out. Um, this is his contract year, like you said. This isn't just a random second or third year for him. This is his, if he wants to get paid, this is the year. You know what I'm saying? I, for one, listen, I have my opinion with the man. I want him to go out there and at least prove me wrong at least one time. Just one time, just prove me wrong. And he's not doing it so far. And my thing is, I'm kind of meh on the whole thing with him. Take it or leave it. He's on a roster, fine. If he's not, I'm not losing sleep over it. I mean, like I said, I'm I'm on about the team this year. You know what I'm saying? I really can care less about one individual. He hasn't helped us, be anything different than we were last year and the year before. So it's not like it's gonna hurt us. So I don't know. I just feel like it was something kind of fishy that will come out just to say, okay, he's not. This is the reason why he's not here. Like it just didn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, all kind of rumors floating around that, by the way, too, man. Trade rumors, circling around. Like, are they shopping him, trying to get, seeing what they can get for him? I don't know. Obviously, I'm like you, Banks. I want him to prove everybody wrong, man, and do great in the Falcons uniform, obviously, right? I don't want to see him go anywhere after the Falcons invested so much in taking him so high. I would like to see him succeed here. I really would, because he's wearing a Falcons uniform. Anybody that has a Falcons uniform on, I'm rooting for him. So I want to see the man do well. So as long as he's here in Atlanta, I want to see him produce. And it's crazy because talking about, just having Michael Penix be the full-time guy now and, throwing the ball and around up there OTAs, man, we get a lot of positive feedback, not just here locally, man, but nationally, man, as, they saying Penix is going crazy, going stupid with throwing the ball up there. Several receivers have come out and said, man, that, it's almost, they saying, air raid type situation with Penix, how he could throw the ball, his ball placement, and now being able to get all the full-time reps of being a starting quarterback. It's almost, listening to them talk, man, it's almost scary how he's getting in rhythm and can just put the ball out there. So I'm hoping that translate over onto Sundays here in the fall with what I'm hearing, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I every other day I see a Michael Penix throw on my timeline and a random person catching the ball. But what they do is with this throw is they zero in on the spiral, and it's one of the prettiest balls you ever see being thrown left-handed. So it was, like I said, it's a different video. I know it's about at least 5 or 6 videos out of him throwing the ball, and it's like, Leo, I haven't seen anything like this, coming from this offseason of one quarterback in this city. They didn't do this for Desmond Ritter. They didn't do this for
Mariota.
Marcus Mariota. They didn't do this for Matt Ryan. This is a big. I don't know. I don't know what the feeling is. It's like people are talking. People that are not Falcon fans are talking. That's the scary part. Like people are actually talking about Falcons and Michael Penix Jr. and what can he bring to this team. And you know, I for one watched those 3 games last season at the end of the season. The sample size that we got, Leo, I was impressed. Like
A
I
lot to
wasn't
look
even
forward to.
say,
Absolutely.
listen, I wasn't expecting a lot from the man. That was his first start. Okay. He came in not knowing a lot of the protections. He didn't know, he just came in to know this is what I know. Okay. This is what I know. And for that little sample size, it was impressive. The timing of it, he didn't, he had 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions.
But
You
now
can
he gets,
argue, you can argue and say some of
yeah.
those interceptions wasn't his fault.
But see,
So
now he gets meaningful reps in the
meaningful
OTAs
reps,
and in
a
camp.
whole off season. He
Yes.
can talk. He can
All
sit
the
there and
installs, everything. It's gonna
yes,
be for him.
yes, yes.
Not a watered down version of what the offense has to do now that they pivoted to Penix. This is gonna be a full installation of Penix is the guy, and this is what we can do with him. So I'm on board with you. I'm looking forward to it, man. I haven't been on board with getting so excited about camp in a long time, man. Also getting some key players back off of injury, man, on the defensive side of the ball. So it should be something to look forward to, Banks. So listen, man, we're at the time, like I said, Sweet and Condensed show this evening, Banks. As always, man, love chopping it up with you, talking Atlanta sports. Obviously, we got to get back on the tail end, talk a little Braves. We'll talk a little Hawks too as well, because there have been some topics floating around with the Hawks. Obviously, what's going on over there in Atlanta United land, because everything isn't sweet and fine over there anymore. So we're going to have to break that down and figure out what's actually going on over there, and if they're going to have to do a hard reset again. But Banks, just as always, man, let everybody know where they can find you, man. Let everybody know where they can hit you up.
You can find me at Antoine Terrell Banks on Facebook, or you can find me at BabyBanks80 on Instagram. Or you could just see me passing around the city, or people know this face. Come on now, you know my face. Just say, hey, I'm part of the ATL 3 Style Show. You know what I'm saying? And I have random people at my job that say, I've seen the show. The first question I ask is, did you subscribe? That's what. Listen, if you seen the show, hit that subscribe button.
Like and
We can
subscribe. That's right.
so you can see us all the time and this pretty face.
Man, I ain't gonna touch that with a 10-foot pole. Listen, man, follow the show on all social media platforms. That's right, man. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on the X, follow us on Instagram, obviously. And then also make sure you follow and subscribe us on YouTube. And if you're still over there on Facebook, subscribe and follow us over there as well, man. It's a whole experience. Obviously, you won't miss anything if you subscribe. When the content comes out, you'll know it. You know what I'm saying? You can hit me up personally at Southern Set with 2 T's if you want to chop it up on Twitter. Catch Derico over there too as well. I don't even know if Derico over there no more. I think he just strictly Snapchat and TikTok or something now. I don't know. He comes back on. He can let everybody know we can find him out here in the streets. But listen, Banks, it's been another edition of the ATL 3 Style Podcast. We out.